So, back on UFC 4 after my procedure. I'm very happy with how things have turned out. I'm able to see. I'm using some blue light filter lens, and I'm gonna try to do a double showcase. Just try to get a fight in with Grasso. As we're fighting this Caitlin Chikagian right now, and okay, get rocked on our first fight back. That sounds about right. And okay, with Grasso and Shevchenko, during the women's weight classes and ranked, it gives me the option to, all right, let me try to get one and then try to hopefully get the other. So let's try to break down Alexa Grasso, right? What did she do well in the first bout against Valentina Shevchenko? Now, granted, obviously the big narrative is that Valentina was winning on the scorecards, etc., etc. But a lot has to be spoken about the stand-up about Alexa Grasso. Not only just her counters and whatnot, but her boxing in both stances. She wasn't just fighting well from orthodox; she was fighting extremely well in orthodox. She usually has a shorter reach, but she can work from long range because her footwork is really good for her division. And I think one of the most, it's funny because we saw Israel Adesanya get dropped by Sean Strickland. He tried to bait a response, tried to check hook Sean Strickland, but he was just out of range, lost the exchange, got dropped by the cross. And most similarly, Valentina Shevchenko, she has a nasty check hook that she uses a lot. But if your opponent is aware of the said check hook and they know that you're going to be doing it stationary and not moving your head off of the center line, Valentina tends to pull with her check hook. She tends to pull, so she'll pull first and then try to fire off the check hook. So Alexa Grasso, in one of those key exchanges, she throws a jab, she flashes the jab, but it's not like the heavy committal jab. Gets Shevchenko to go and pull. She tries to fire off the check hook, but the cross lands before the check hook is able to, and she gets her head off the center line. So that was a really good tool from Alexa Grasso, and really good scouting from her corner. Right, they did a really fantastic job of doing that. I think one of the best things that she also did too, which is not so dissimilar from the last few fights, is that she pressured Valentina Shevchenko and took away her kicks as early as she could. Now Valentina was able to find some success with her own counter jabs as the fight progressed, but her good boxing was there, and she did it really well from southpaw because Valentina is adjusted to countering a bunch of orthodox fighters. If you try to go back to that exchange where Alexa was able to land go for the 1-2 and counter her check hook, had that exchange been in where if Alexa Grasso was orthodox and it was the jab that she had pulled away from there, I think the check hook would have landed. But because she was in southpaw, her range management in that short window of time was not as precise as Valentina would have liked it to be. And Shevchenko, paid for it early with a nice little stunt. But she was able to get herself back in the fight with some really good. People forget, I think Shevchenko was a judo black belt, and she took down Grasso a couple times. But Grasso was scrambly. She did not really concede too much in position. But it was really good. It was really good. I think Alexa Grasso, a couple things that she'll probably note heading into this rematch later tonight is that, despite the high guard in MMA, in boxing, big gloves work really well to hide behind it. But in MMA, because, there's not much you're protecting through, a really quality jab is still going to be able to sneak through the guard, right? It's going to be able to do a sneaky. It's kind of why, like in UFC, currently playing, like UFC 4, like you see right there, right? My cross lands, for fuck's sake. But I'd like them to implement like a front guard and a side guard on command, but then again, that might make things a little bit too hard. But it's something that I do like from the blocking system, that the front guard and side guard do come into play when your fighter has their guard overcommitted. And this person is firing off missiles. God damn. He is playing the role of an outfighter pretty well, which is the person that's getting pressured. They usually have to try to throw more strikes to get the person that's pressuring them off. So we're going to be doing a lot of smart pressure and letting them try to gas themselves out and pressure our jab ourselves. And I think the best thing too, since we're pressuring this, pressuring this Caitlin, is that she took away Valentina's left high kick and her left body kick because she mirrored her in her stance. The advantages that she had in open stance, if Alexa Grasso was an orthodox were not there because she switched to southpaw, and that would lead to Valentina having to be more lead leg focused, against her, and ready against a individual that's ready to counter her, of course, in the necessary ranges. So I'm really excited to see this. Jesus Christ, I'm so rusty. I'm so rusty. Oh yeah. So rusty. There we go. Not rusty enough now to forget how to sidestep though. Kagan's an annoying 4-star to fight. I think too something that a lot of people, a lot of the men's fighters do this too, but you got to give some of the ladies credit because the ladies that can fight, they can fight. I think another thing upon rewatch of that fight that I liked a lot from Alexa Grasso is that because it's not. So I'm trying to be calm while I get rocked, but it's not that things that work in the game are not dissimilar from how it works in real life because, Jesus, I'm speaking of, the pulling tendency that Valentina Shevchenko has, right? She loves to pull counter. So Alexa Grasso was actually doing a really good job of attacking the body. And that's actually something that a lot of players don't do enough of. I got caught with it myself back in Vegas against Pride, attacking my body when I try to pull counter. And hopefully we can get this individual out of here. Nope, of course not. And I think the other good thing about Alexa Grasso, as she was moving into punching range and whatnot, she was also keeping her head off the center line. And I honestly, let's go for the takedown. I honestly want to see the game's meta, especially for the next game, evolve into something more of that nature where, if you watch Dustin Poirier versus Conor, or Conor, even early Conor, Aldo, Holloway, even now in MMA, right? When fighters overcommit on something, they have to kind of move their head out of the way to dodge the oncoming counter, right? Because there's a risk when you press forward like that. And something that I like that Grasso was, when she threw something, she was moving her head out the center line, and then crowding hers to take away her kicks. Jeez. But it was really good to see or deny Valentina Shevchenko's check hook. It was really nice. The check right hook confers money, and you got to give Alexa Grasso credit where it's due. I don't think Valentina should be going into this fight thinking that first fight was a fluke. It's akin to the Leon Edwards Kamaru Usman fight, right? Where even though Kamaru was winning on the scorecards, and I had mentioned prior that, in the rounds when I was watching it live, that Usman was at risk due to his footwork habits of getting high kicked, and he ended up getting high kicked. They rushed into that. I really think that they really rushed into that rematch. I know they took some time off, but the mentality was that I got caught. And then I don't think they really focused. Speaking of getting caught, I give him the stupid position. But they don't really focused that, hey, Leon, this time, he wasn't moving laterally as well as he should have. But the couple times he was denying your takedown, he was denying your grips. So heading into a third fight, if he's already aware of how to stop your takedowns for the most part by attacking grips, you should probably switch to more upper body takedowns and wearing him that way instead of going for the shot. And that's part of why Leon, on top of the lateral movement and the head kick threat and the KO and everything else along that nature, let's pass here, was able to have success against Usman. He never allowed Usman to really get as much grips as he would have liked. He still got one less takedown than he did in the first fight, but he also didn't land. He was at a very inaccurate rate. My point is, to get this across, is that Valentina should not be thinking that fight was a fluke, because more than enough time passed by in that fight, past 3 rounds. It wasn't something that she got caught with early. She didn't spin early and then make a stupid mistake and got caught off for something early. It was a tendency that her corner, let's see if we can get the sub, her noted. I can't wait to be done with these mini games. We get, no, of course not. Okay, we didn't get it. But I will say this. Oh, of course. Don't go for this. Oh, come on, I denied that. we'll be safe. It's like 34 seconds left. But, yeah. I think this is going to be... I think we've got this at least 29, 28. I think we'll be safe. As long as we don't get subbed, which is unlikely because there's like 13 seconds left. But I think it's really important that Valentina approaches this new fight, recognize what Grasso was able to deny you from doing, and then take that away from her. I think instead of looking for the check hook as a weapon early, I think she should be looking for the lead leg kick as a counter early, and be aware to try to parry whatever cross counter as it may be. A lot of lateral movement, you know, instead of trying to sit there and counter. We're seeing a lot of people who are playing the role of counter fighters. Now that people aren't buying into their things because they've read them on film, they are able to have a lot more success. But we're going to wait to see the scorecards. Well, hear the scorecards. Okay. Oh, okay. 30-27. All right. We will take that. We are going to take that W. 30-27. All right. All right. And now the woman who is looking to regain her title, Valentina Shevchenko. So we already got to work with Alexa Grasso earlier. Shevchenko. We're in bantamweight though, facing against her nemesis, Amanda Nunes. And I'm going to try to employ a strategy that I think that Shevchenko should be working. And what I think is body work. Body work and attacking the legs as early as possible. You know, that check hook versus Nikes, but they've already they had that drill in where they're ready to counter her on the spot. It also helps that this Nunes is, of course. Oh, no. Okay. Our mistake, but we could do that a little bit better. What I'm saying is, I think body work, leg kicks, everything along that nature is going to help out Valentina kind of disrupt the rhythm of Alexa Grasso because they've keyed in on her tendencies. So now I think to disguise fucking Nunes. To disguise her kicks behind her punches to serve her well and make them attack the body. Sap away at Alexa Grasso's cardio. And have that investment as you start to see her hands drop. Then you can open up with your counter. But now the one thing you have to switch is that if you are looking for your check hook counter, you need to preemptively move your head out the way. I think, there's Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. He does a fantastic job of when he throws his check hook, that he moves his head out the center line, or he continues to move laterally off of that angle, even if he pulls, right? And I think that's something that Valentina is going to need to do against Alexa Grasso if she's opting to still pull. There we go. Of course, the pull counters are Valentina's signature. She loves to pull counter. There we go. Got the rock. A little bit of lag there, but that's all right. It's all right. Wouldn't be a Valentina showcase without a spinneroonie. Specifically the spinneroonie that got her in trouble. That's another thing too. It's crazy that they noted that when she gets behind the black line, that's when she opts to spin. I think that's a really cool thing that they were able to scout out over in film. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Fucking spikes. Another thing too is I'd also like to see her if she does. She does do this already. Jeez. If she does land, instead of her counter right hook and she starts to go back to the jab where she had a lot of success with, I'd like to see her try to angle off of her jab against Alexa Grasso and start to fire off body kicks or lead body kicks. Or even, we'll have to call back to Peter Yan. Peter Yan does a really good job of disguising body kicks behind hooks. Here we go. Another one. So you can't really do this in game. You can't throw like a rear hook and fire off a body kick, but Peter Yan does that really well. He'll also throw like a lead hook and disguise a lead body kick. And I think if she is comboing off of her jab and then disguises her body kick off of her jab and feels really confident that Grasso won't be able to take her down as long as she doesn't give up her back, that's something worth trying. But I'm definitely thinking that the body investment is going to be important for Valentina early to open up the head strike, because Alexa Grasso was on point with a lot of her head movement counters up until the implementation of Valentina's jab. So I can expect them to now, all right, have a lot of film. All right, look, this is what was working against you. Valentina was jabbing you up, so we're going to have some counters against your jab now. Okay, pop her up with a little hook action. There we go. Plant and sit down. Sidestep that. I gotta try to sidestep and slip. Ooh, pull back knee. Hey, 4-piece to the body TKO with Valentina Shevchenko. Now, if Valentina finishes Alexa Grasso by body kick, I'm pretty happy with that. But let's think realistically. Usually in rematches, they tend to be much closer depending on the age of the fighter. Valentina is getting older. Alexa Grasso is the younger fighter, and they've scouted her pretty well. Will Valentina break from habits? That's really going to depend. I can see Alexa Grasso winning a very closely contested decision over Valentina Shevchenko if Valentina does not make the proper adjustments. I don't think that she'll finish Shevchenko again. I don't think that will happen, but I can see her winning a decision. But if Valentina does what she needs to do, and she implements good body work, if she initiates the grappling, attacks the body, does not give up position, I think she is going to be able to reclaim her belt. Will they do a third fight? I mean, based on how that division is, I mean, you got a couple of killers laying in wait. You got Aaron Blanchfield waiting for y'all too, but that's going to be it. We've uploaded a lot today with all the UFC 5 news, but let's see if the EA cover curse affects Valentina Shevchenko tonight. Number 17, I appreciate y'all. I am out.